Hi, this is Elizabeth Naylor with Ebenezer Wellness, and today we're going to be talking about measuring stress. This is a very important topic in terms of holistic nutrition, and the reason is because stress really undermines all disease. It's really the underlying factor that causes inflammation. It contributes to insulin resistance, which contributes to inflammation and leading toward heart disease, cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's. So these things all work together, and there's been study after study that prove this, both from a medical perspective and a psychiatric perspective. And so I want to talk about our intrinsic, extrinsic, and systemic thinking briefly and just give you a description of this. Basically, in what we do in our coaching program is encourage the development, the skill to think in a more resource rich way. Okay, and move away from limited and reductionist thinking. That actually reduces stress. And so when we think about the goal of our coaching program, we're wanting to support a person's ability to find their own best thinking on a consistent basis. And really, that starts with an awareness of the existence of your own thinking and skills to find or wait for your best thinking. So, what we use to show people the awareness of their own thinking is a report, basically, an assessment. Let me start over. So, what we use to create an awareness of your own pattern of thinking is an assessment that shows you your thinking in toward the external world outside of you and toward your internal world in those three domains: the intrinsic, the extrinsic, and the systemic. When clients take the assessment, and we're talking about measuring stress on the external and the internal side, there are two measures in particular that we look at. We look at the INT-P, which is the integration percentage, and that's really a picture of your reaction under pressure and your emotional control under pressure, and how you're able to stay balanced and moving forward under pressure. And the AI, which is the attitude index, which is really your response, your attitude toward pressure. And when we're looking at a scaled score, what we're wanting is closer to zero, is a stronger sense of uh, a stronger sense of emotional control under pressure, and a stronger sense of an attitude that is more productive under pressure. And so the valuable thing about this is that when we work with people, they can actually see their stress measures. And in seeing those, they can say, "Oh, well, that explains it. Oh, now I understand. Wow, how do I fix that?" And that's really what the coaching is about. So this person, for example, their ability to maintain emotional control externally is really kind of shaky. It's not, it could be 0, 1, or 2. 0, 1 would be sort of the strongest capacity for that, and 3 and 4 is in the middle, and 5 and 6 is really very little emotional control under pressure. And so internally, this person's actually able to maintain emotional control and integration and rationality under pressure than they are on the external side and dealing with the world. Although they're both, it's not a terrible score, but it's important for you to see that. So, for example, if someone's really struggling with relationships and reacting to people who are outside of you, correct? Then they could look at this and say, "Oh, wow, okay, that shows up that is true. I see people really clearly, but under pressure, I tend to really lose my ability to maintain emotional control." On the attitude index side, you can see that all that external pressure coming at me is showing up here as well. That maybe my attitude is becoming a little more negative, undervaluing, a little more. I'm thinking that the outer world is bad, or there's some conflicts there, and yet on the inner world, myself, I call it the solid ground on which we stand. I feel very confident that I'm standing on solid ground in who I am as a person. And so when we're talking about stress for people, you can see that there are many different ways of looking at it. And by going through this, it's been helpful.